Greetings and salutations, malefactors and YouTubers. We're back here at Stop Logic Motorsports, and we're going to start phase 2 of the incremental performance improvement of the WR250R. Maybe that's a little bit boring of a title. I'm not here to excite, I'm here to educate. So most folks will say you take off the whole pair valve assembly and everything. This whole deal, block it off, block it off at the throttle body. Me personally, we're gonna block it off here at the hose, because if I ever do just get tired of this bike and decide to sell it, I'm gonna return it back to mostly original condition. So anywho, you have the alrighty. My little dogs don't like to be separated from me for too long. So you'll see a little hooch in there, a hook, some would say. And you just basically take a screwdriver, other prying type apparatus, and try and get it off that dang door. There we go. And this is your top of your pair valve. This is some sort of diaphragm, and it takes this door and shuts off your air. See? And your air box all shut down. So we're gonna make a trip out to the Wally World and get some two-sided tape to keep this bad boy down. Some folks Dremel or cut this out. That's a bit unneeded. But yeah, got nice clear access, big old hole into there. Versus most other snorkels, good to go. And you'll notice there's like a little 1 inch, basically a 1 square inch bypass for this thing. That's just kind of like ancillary information. Alrighty, so what are we going to do to seal this hose up? And you see I'm busting out the shrink tube. Just trying to find the right size for this. Most likely it's going to be yellow. Yeller tube. Alright, so I do this a little differently than most folks. And forgive the kitchen mess. Alright. Do this a little differently than most folks. I usually fill these with a screw, and then I block them off like I'm doing a waterproof assembly for a set of bypassed wiring. So you find a screw that basically fits the hole fairly well. And luckily, thanks to the last wrenchers here, we had just the thing. Let's make sure everything's locked up. Hello, Mr. Caboose. Oh, he's gonna get us, it's Mr. Caboose. And Elvira and Sophie's the lazy one there. So, you take your screw, stuff it in your hole there. I know it's not an airtight deal, but it will be. It'll be air and watertight. So when you do this, same as like bypassing your safety switch, which we'll cover in another video, you put it halfway down and you start shrink tubing. About as much as it'll let you. You let it cool for a little bit. And it's handy to have a... That's pretty cool. Ooh, nope, that part's not yet. It's handy to have lighters in your toolbox, even if you don't smoke. I don't smoke anymore, Mrs. does. Don't judge. I don't judge. I used to smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day. And I stopped and replaced that vise with soda, and yeah, increased weight exponentially. So anywho, you'll take your freshly shrink wrapped doohickey here, fold it over itself. Come on, feller. And sometimes it's a little harder than others. So when you're crazy, I'm gonna have to use the next size of shrink tube up. Do I have another size of shrink tube from this? Blue is decidedly smaller. So we got limited materials here, so I'm gonna make it work with what I've got. There we go. Got about 1/2 inch of coverage on here now. I'll shrink it down and then I'll cut off the excess. And there we go. A waterproof, dustproof connection. Or I guess cover. You can achieve the same thing with a screw and some RTV as well if you're short on supplies. Big on supplies, short on supplies. And there we go. Nice and all cinched up. There we go. We've accounted for the potential schmutz being drawn into our deal. And you're gonna wonder, why do I have a puppy pad underneath the bike? Well, I have puppies, and the bike misbehaves inside too. It'll work just as fine. Anyways, enough of that non sequitur stuff. We have the air box out. We're gonna get some 2-sided tape, which I'll come back later and finish that up, and we'll have this portion of the modding done. Then we'll move up to the fuel tuner, and I'll show you guys how to set up the fuel tuner for the specific set of settings. And then there's kind of an art behind tuning it once you get done. So if you don't have a dynamometer, the butometer works fairly well, but you know, just a little bit of stuff to be ready for, be expectant of. At any rate, we'll be back here in a few. All right, and we're back. So we're gonna finish up getting this flapper taken care of. I discovered another project that we're gonna be working on. I did a couple of reviews on these Amazon blinkers, and this is number 6 dead. So we're gonna go with something else before I set this bike back up. But look forward to that video. I've got a couple of ideas. I might even get rid of these big old bug eyes. But anywho, let's focus up. So this is your flapper, your intake flapper. I already took a wet paper towel and cleaned it off, and what I'm going to mount this with is indoor rated dual-sided sticky tape. one square ought to do it. I doubt I'm gonna have 15 pounds of pressure on here. So you notice you got a little bit of fluffy stuff on the outside. You take that you go probably about ½ an inch back until you hit the smooth plastic. Till you get in there and hit the smooth skin, boss. Any of you guys out there Fallout fans, yeah, I do like me some ghoul jokes, especially when I get bored. I'll listen to the adventures of Henry Daring Dashwood. The only trick is once you get it in there, it's a little hard to peel the other back of the sticky bit off. There we go. Peel a little bit of adhesive off and hopefully you guys get a good shot of this. I'll try and get in up close. So yeah, that's essentially what we're doing, is we're tacking that bad boy down, and now the flapper stays in place. So you've just done the first part of the flapper delete mod. And granted, you can take off all of this canister stuff and plug it at the carburetor and at the injector deal. But me, you know, eventually I'll probably end up selling this bike. Eventually, maybe. So we're just going to plug it at the plug it here. I've already pulled off the part, and you've got nice clear open space, and this thing's gonna stay closed. Yeah, it takes a considerable amount of force to peel it up, so there we go. That's the quick and easy tutorial of getting rid of your intake flapper. Now you can disconnect the rest of this, dummy plug it out. You don't have to dummy plug the solenoid. It doesn't read for your check engine light or check motorcycle engine light, all of that right. But if you do choose to do it, know that this isn't the one that you have to dummy plug. The one that you have to dummy plug is the AIS on the exhaust. So, alright, so next video is going to be putting on the EJK and setting it up for a bike with stock exhaust and opened air box. We'll do all that jazz. And then we'll continue on with doing the winter prep to get this thing ready for a fighting shape. Well, if you like the content, like and subscribe. If you don't, feel free to criticize me harshly. You can whip me, beat me, and make me write hot checks. Most of my checks are going to be hot anyways. But, see you on the next one.